Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to solve day 10 challenge, which is to reverse a list. It is like we are given a list and the task is to reverse the order of its elements, right? So for example, it is like 1 2 3 4 5 and just we have to reverse it. So it's like a just first element becomes last and last element becomes first. So here giving the some like hints like by using slicing, loop and reverse functions. So this is the most common list operations often asked for the beginners assessments or any interviews they may ask. So just like giving steps to approach this. So like start and reverse the list and do. So just giving like a try to code this and give the answers. Okay, let's try to do that. I have defined a function and I also created a Python file. In the previous video we also done the to like reverse a string same as like this in the loop base. Let's try to do in the way of list also. Okay, so first approach is like nothing but slicing is like a basic approach will be gone, like for example return array of -1. Let's try to run how it's get. Yes, it is getting reversed like this. And next approach will be like reverse function, but see there is a number of difference. Why? See here slicing will the give the time complexity and storage things that will be different. And to reverse here let's say I'm using reverse function, then it is also gives such difference on the things. So in this we will see like that. Okay, so which is like array reverse, which is to just reverse and we have to return that, return array. So let's try to run this and same it is. So let's let's see it is really fully reversed or not. Let's try to return only list. No, it is not, just it is like a temporary. Okay, okay, next will be like a loop based, right? Loop. So for the loop based, let's try to give for example for num in sorry num in array. But to I'm thinking that let's create a list, like for example reverse is equal to list, and I want to append these elements in that list, right? For example reverse dot append what I want to append num, then I can return reverse, right? Let's try to run and see let's is working or not. No. Okay, sorry, it's like a like first starting element and it is importing. I just want to reverse the element, right? So for that I will use the range function. So for example n is equal to array, n is equal to length of array. So in that way I can range this like range of n minus 1 comma -1 comma -1 means here the range function shows that start and stop and yes stop and step. It is like a step thing. So for example the range is like a 5 minus 4, is it right? 5 minus 4 till the last element, like for example 5 4 3 2 1. It is like which is nothing but the list will be 0 based index, like 0 1 2 3 4, right? So it's taking the index from 4 3 2 1 0. So it is normally range function will be stops at like skipping the last index. For example if we define here as like a 0, if it is like for example we define as 0, then it will really not takes the 0 element. It's just only takes last till one index element only, like 2. So if we define like -1, it is also takes the one element, so that's why I am used here to -1. And it is like to reverse the function. If we don't specify this, it doesn't prints all this. So I think it would be like, for example, index, and I have to update array of index. Now it will return the reverse list. Here directly changing the original list, and here directly we are changing on the original list, but here I am creating a new list, then I am returning that. So let's try to run. It is also works. Yes. And next approaches is nothing but like don't confuse by these because some interviewers may ask that don't use the built-in functions and try to solve this only by the loop and such things. So in that way we have to use these types. And normally reversed function, right? Let's say reversed function. In reverse, what we have to reverse? Array, right? Array will reverse the function. So it is creates the new element, right? So for example, new is equal to this new list. Then I have to return the new list. Let's try to run this also. Okay. Okay. It is reverser function will returns the objects, right? It is like a iterator, so it will return the object. So we have to we have to convert this into a list, then only it gives the list type of thing. So now let's run and gives in the reverse order. Okay. And another approach will be like a same as while loop. Okay, let's see is there any approaches are there. Okay, here we have the empty list, and when we have the empty list, the same will be present. There is no problem with that edge cases to thing. And if it is a single element, then it is also okay, because reversing same will give. And negative numbers, let's try to do with the negative numbers. Let's say I have already given here to test that. Okay. Let's try to use the same function. I'm running. Yes, it is giving the same as like a reverse. Let's also try this example. Yes. So I'm running this function. Yes, it is also giving the same function. And also I want to try that if it is a single element, then how it is get. Let's say 10. Then it is giving the same. These are like edge cases to think that how the it will handle. Here says that I have given this. We can also use the range function to define same as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on from till the end. So I will say these approaches in the last so that you can understand. Wait. Yes. I am using here the existing, like if we have an array, then how we return that. Okay. Normally we do the same as like to reverse. So reverse changes the original itself. No new list is created. Okay. So use concept in the in place mutation. Is it okay? To that modifies the same memory reference only. Okay. Edge cases is like if you do, you will get none. So because it doesn't return a new list, so it just modifies the existing one only. So we have to directly return as like this. Next approach 2 is like using slicing, same as like that. It means like a start to end and step -1. Okay. And returns a new list, doesn't change the original one. Okay. It doesn't change the original one, but reverse changing the original one, right? And returns and simple and Pythonic and non-destructive, like original list says same. Okay. Next approach using built-in reverser function, right? As I said that reverse returns a iterator, so we have to convert them into a list. doesn't create a new list by default. It is an iterator. Wrapping in list converts into a list. Okay. Memory efficient because it doesn't copy unless you convert. Okay. Next way is like by using loop. Yes, we have did the same, that like by giving length and -1 in array index. Is it? Yes. Is append function is to append the elements in the list directly. For example, the first element is like a 20. 20 will get up appends to the reverse list. Say like 9, 18, so on, so on. So append elements one by one helps understand indexing and looping direction, so that it used for the same as like a range function, right, as I said above in previous. So next, by using while loop, same as above, but we used only the condition, like, and in reverse way we are decreasing the index. Okay, manual loop before but while loop instead of for, and helps to practice logically. Okay, list comprehension is also same, just like a same for loop we have defined like this, but it just converting directly into a list. Okay, it is also creating new list, and in that way we use that single line way to write the manual loop cleaner, and Pythonic alternate way for the reversal. Okay, next, using stack. Here we use the insert function, where insert function means, let's go to this, I have searched about it. Insert function is a built-in method used at the in the specific index position within the list. Is to insert the specific position. Okay, it differs from the append, which adds elements only at the list, but it here we define in the index to add the element. Okay, here index is greater than or equal to the, if the index is greater than or equal to the end, then the element is added at the end of the list, right? If it is negative indexes, for example, if it is -1, for example -1 an element we have to insert, then it would be adds in the second last. Okay, if it is 2, then it is third to the last, and so on. And it requires the parameter insertion data type. Okay, so when inserting specific elements, all these things, for example here, see, when we want to add the orange in the index 1, it is 0 1 2. Here 1 will add and the banana will move to the second index position. Here, see. Okay, next, in the 0th position, like this, grapes was added and other things were just shifted to the right. Okay, here 10, here 10 is, here normally the length is around like a 5, so it is like 10, so index will be added at the end of the list, which is kiwi here added. Next, same for the -2, inserted mango, but it should be present in the banana, but I don't know why it is added here. If you know that, can you comment that? So the time complexity is the big of n because n is the number of the elements, so some all like this. So let's try to do this also. Treat it like a stat, and each new element is inserted at the index 0 and pushing the exist one to forward, like just like pushing like a right side. Okay, less efficient because it's take it shifts the every time, right? Big of n square. Good for understanding conceptual only, like last in first out, right? Last in first out, last in first out. Okay, using recursion, same as here in the return we have defined a list, and in that I have here using the same recursion function to given like the giving the last element, right? For example, the base case, let's try to do this. Okay, if length is greater than, and we have to return, right? So let's try to do this, and recursion, recursion. Okay, and I'm just printing here length of this and return. Okay, here the same function is defined. Okay, okay, let's try to run this. We have to define That's right. Let's say we giving this. Okay, here the output should be 20 and last is 4. Okay, it is also working. It's just like a going each time every time function and giving this thing. Okay, recursive case takes last element and combine with the reverse list. Okay, it takes the last element and combines with it. Helps to understand the reverse, not memory efficient for the largest due to recursion depth. Okay, next using the numpy functions, right, where we will have directly same as like a slicing, and it just like giving this numpy supports the vectorized slicing operations and working efficiently with the large numericals. Okay, next using the reduce, it is also like using lambda function. Each iteration adds new elements to the front of accumulator list and functional programming wheel. Okay, but it is less common. It is like advanced thing, so I think we know. Okay, edge cases is like a we dealing with same as like I have said, if it is repeated same we will get, and different data types is also get, and nested data types also we same we will get, but not the inner one reverse. Okay, so for the interview, um, let's say for the interview we can be as like that, and for example it is the best approaches. Slicing will be great if we use, and these approaches slicing with we have to explain like this. If we use like it is not changing the original one, it does change the original one, and it is go backward, all things we have to say like that. For the reverse also function, it is like yields and wrapping with list, and same for the manual also, I loop it through the manual and starting from the last to 0, same we have to explain. So for the they may ask like what if the list is empty, then we have to and tell that both slicing and reverse handle that automatically. So empty or single element list will also themselves unchanged. So after writing those, and it is like saying that we have to explain each point, not only each point, just what will be the output and what is the main changes are there like that. So for the interview or anything, slicing will be better, clean, and reverse will be like a shows built-in knowledge, and loop will shows the demonstrate the logic, and reverse will be in place and whereas less for the assessments used in assessments. Others are like practical purpose only, just like a practice. Okay, so okay, that's all for today. We are used for the reverse list, just slicing, reverse function, loop, and reversed function and recursion. We have did all this, and these are like approaches to reverse a list. So practice yourself and try to approach all these things and in interview way, so we can understand all these things. Yes, thank you. See you in the next video.